All right, what's going on, guys? For those who don't know me, this is Seven. This is the free mentorship session where we're just gonna have dialogue back and forth, barbershop talk, no strict type of format to the conversations. If you guys don't want to come off mute for whatever reason, it's okay. Type out your questions. I'll get to everybody, but definitely don't be shy. You guys can raise your hand and we'll just go in order and I'll answer as many questions as I possibly can. So yeah, appreciate you guys for tapping in. If you think there's somebody else that finds value in some of the game and the gems that I'm about to drop, don't hesitate to send them the link. And yeah, we're just gonna get started. I'll start it from the top. I see Kai in here. What's going on, Kai? Thank you for creating this space tonight. What's the biggest obstacle to overcome when first starting with trading options? Great question. You know, when you first start, you really go through that trading journey. If you were on the Twitter spaces or like I've mentioned it before, you go through that euphoric situation where you win and then you get high off of winning. And then you just start doing things that revolve around greed, like over trading or just being in too many positions. And that's really one of the biggest obstacles when you're first getting started is not really understanding all the emotional elements that come with options trading. Most people think that options trading is just about reading a chart and, you know, having money. That's not the case at all. Yes, you need to know how to read a chart. At least I believe so. You know, maybe somebody else will tell you different. I think reading a chart is fundamental and a non-negotiable, right? But, you know, the emotional and the EQ, not just the technical analysis, not the fundamental analysis, that emotional element, that's the real game changer that you have to master when you're trading options. You know, before anything, I think that's the number one obstacle that people struggle with is that emotional element. You know, because no matter where you are in your trading career, whether you have 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 years, 25 years, you're always going to be a human being, right? And human beings have emotions. And some days are easier to conquer those emotions than others, right? So the successful trading journey is just going through that process, mastering yourself, mastering your emotions, telling yourself, I'm not going to give up no matter what. And then you discover a system that works for you. And once you discover that system that you find yourself consistently green, now you're like, yo, I got this. No matter what losses I take, everything is a learning lesson. You know, so that was the biggest, my biggest takeaway personally is when I first started, yeah, I was winning. And then I went on crazy losing streaks where, you know, it really questioned myself and my character. Like, yo, am I really confident as I think I am? Like, I really need to work on patience. What am I doing here? You know, like it put me in front of different things that I didn't really know about myself, or I did, and it just highlighted it and put a magnifying glass on it. It's like, yo, Seven, get your shit together in these spaces, you know? So I hope that answers your question, Kai. That's a great question. Somebody says, strategy for scalping. I'm very green as far as experience. Hey man, there's so many different ways to scalp. If you're a momentum trader, you got to get in there for a good time, not a long time. You know, you want to get in there, get a percentage and get out and then go about your day. You know, some people over scalp and they over trading and they're trying to get into everything. It's not Pokemon. You're not trying to catch them all. You get in, high conviction, move on, right? You know, you don't get married to any of these tickers. Don't try to get, oh, I'm up 70%, but I wanted 71%. And then you go down 60% and you're like, all right, I just want to get back to 65. And then you're down 30% and you're like, oh man. And then it's just chaos all over the place. You know, so scalping is just non-emotional behavior, sticking to the plan, seeing either a percentage you're happy with or a dollar amount you're happy with. It's all relative, and it's entirely up to you. Every trader is different. Every portfolio is different, you know, but you got to make that decision for yourself. And I used to be that guy. Should I take profit? Like, oh man, what should I do? But, you know, ultimately you have to make that decision for yourself. It's your portfolio. It's your experience. It's your finances. You understand? You know, so that's another great question. And if you're green, oh man, keep doing that. That means you have a system that works for you. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you have the system that works for you at this point, it's just accumulation. And the more you accumulate, the bigger your portfolio grows. The bigger your portfolio goes, I mean, that's what we want, right? Mission accomplished. All right, Chris Haynes says, tend to get faked out a lot at open. Any guidance on when to enter a trade and follow overall direction? Might be a vague question, but patience isn't my strong suit. Oh man, that's a lot of traders. Now, a lot of traders struggle with patience. A lot of traders want, especially the newer ones or the ones that still struggle with their emotions. Like it's not that, I don't want to make anybody feel bad about it because it happens to everyone. You just get that greed. You get that desire for fast money, right? You're just like, I want fast money. Like, come on. Then you're not patient. You don't execute. Then you sell too early, or you sell too late, or you buy too early, or you buy too late. There's so many different scenarios, guys. The market is just a whole universe that you don't know what you don't know unless you experience it yourself, or you're just doing the investigation and due diligence and asking the right questions and putting yourself around people who have more experience than you so you can learn. Education before compensation. The more you learn, the more you earn, right? And I say this all the time. Again, if you guys are finding value so far, definitely show me love on Twitter. I just posted the link. Give me a follow. Share this link with anybody who else you think will find value as well. I see King Tendy's in here. What's going on, bro? Definitely an awesome trader. Master at technical analysis. Again, if you guys want to ask questions, ask them away. Raise your hand. If you're not comfortable, that's okay. Type them out in the chat. Go ahead and just spit out as many questions as possible, and I'm going to get to them in the best way that I possibly can. So yeah, Kai, I hope I answered your question. Chris, I hope I answered your question. But let me just go deeper into that. Getting faked out a ladder open. Sometimes maybe we can say that trading at open is just not for you, right? I know people who have 10 plus years of experience and they wait the first hour because the volatility is not something that's their strong suit. Again, everybody's different. If you're going to trade at open, you got to master your emotions and know what you're doing and plan for the end at the beginning. What's the plan? Don't just trade at open winging it. No, what's the plan? You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And you don't get ready during the bell while the market's open. You get ready before the bell, either the morning of or the night before. So, man, it really comes down. I can't give you an answer like, oh, this is how you do it and this is how you get more patience. Nah, that's a decision, bro. That's entirely up to you. If you get faked out and you're panic selling, it's possible that you might be playing too heavy, and maybe you didn't have a concrete plan of why you took the trade. Maybe you just took it because it was a recommendation and you don't have a purpose behind it. You don't have a target behind it, and I'm not saying this is your situation. I'm just saying these are all the possibilities, and you have to reflect on yourself of why you're doing what you're doing. If as far as directions, like there's things that you become familiar with. Where today was a bare bone basics bull trap, pump, a nice little hour and a half bull run, and then dump past the shadow realms into the underworld. Right, that's just a situation where if you're familiar with the market, if you got some stripes on your sleeve, you saw this coming, right? You saw it coming. If you don't, you got caught up, and that's just experience. Again, it's just everything is a lesson. Everything is a learning lesson. If you have a system for you that you're more green than red consistently, just keep applying that, keep working on that, keep mastering that, because your portfolio will grow. iPhone, he says, or she, how do you find your lotto plays or trades during the day after the bell opens? No, so I'm finding my lotto plays, like, I have my high conviction plays and then I have lotto plays very different, specifically my lotto plays or earnings plays, because my lottos are mostly earnings, unless it's just something that's like a meme stock or something that aggressively ran. I find my lotto plays just through catalysts. Like, I'm a catalyst trader. Is there an event coming up? Is it the weeks of earnings? Oh, what's up, Felix? Is it the week of earnings? Did they have some news? What's happening that I'm even would even consider this trade? Is there a lot of money flow happening? Did the president mention it, or did the CEO of a company say something that's significant? So in Profit Rocket Club, we have all this information, and I'm going to actually drop a tutorial video to help find this information more effectively, because I know Discord is a big platform. And guys, you can, even if you're not in Profit Rocket Club, that's okay. You can find this information on Twitter, right? It just comes down to how you're looking for the information. And then obviously taking everything with a grain of salt, because there's no holy grail that's a one size fits all. This is it. This is this is the way or the highway. No, but it's just information. The more information you gather and collect, the more you can make a decision with conviction. And then you just trust your due diligence, right? So, it just comes down to finding the catalyst, what has earnings. There's earnings whispers that has, their charts that has all the earnings for the week and the month. Great tool. Find your companies you're familiar with. Even if you're not familiar with, do the due diligence. I had a situation last week where I missed out on a 6,000% play. Why? Because I made a decision not to investigate the ticker. Even though I looked at it, I looked at the name. All I did was look at what it actually was. And it was in the home developing and construction space. And I decided not to do my technical analysis. I decided not to do the fundamentals. I decided not to look at anything. I just said, this is okay. I don't want to take a lotto today. All I had to do was do due diligence, and I would have saw that it was a low risk, high reward play. And the very next day, 6,000%. So it just comes down to doing the work. I find lottos by doing the work. It just doesn't come across fall on my lap. I wish that would be fantastic. No, you got to go find the information. The more you work, the more confident you should be as an options trader. That's all it comes down to. Do you use any strategies like straddle, spreads, etc.? No, I don't use any spreads. I do straddles, but my straddles are normally different because technically straddles are getting the same strike, for calls and puts. But I just, I do whatever I find interesting, as far as like, maybe I find a call that's 5 points above the money, but has a lot of volume and open interest. And then I'll get a put that's 2 points under the money, and move like that. I take everything, with a grain of salt. I'm looking at the flow. I'm looking at volume. I'm looking at open interest. And I make my decision from there. I'm looking at flow. I'm looking at unusual whales. It's a whole process before I take a trade. And, I don't mind that process because sometimes it's just one trade that changes everything. DocuSign was a pure example of that. I did a whole bunch of due diligence and I found the information that I needed to play it. And that's what I did. See, do you use the Greeks for your plays? So I use the Greeks for my long-term swings. If I'm swinging something for at least a month to 3 months, but for like short-term plays or lottos, I don't use Greeks really. Momentum trading, I don't really use Greeks either. It's just, generally speaking, that's just for me. I use the Greeks. I look at the delta and the theta for, things that I'm holding, that I have time on it, that I have at least 2 months, 3 months, then that's really when I use the Greeks. How do you grow your account? Oh, this is a great question. I love this question. How do you grow your account? Felix, you're here. What did I just tell you? I just told you this, an hour ago? One trade at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take anything from tonight's session, how do you grow your account? One trade at a time. I understand you want to make money in big bags. You see what other people are making. You want to make thousands. I get it. I understand the FOMO when you see a whole bunch of things going on at the same time and you're like in a slot machine or in a casino and it's all of the lights and things going on and you just want to get in everything. I understand. I've been there. Most traders have as well that have a lot of experience. But let me tell you, if nobody has told you before, you grow your account one trade at a time. Not swinging 5 different positions, not being in 20 different positions that you have to scroll down your portfolio. No, one trade. One trade, you're green, you close it, come back the next day, the score is 0-0. One trade, you're green, you close it, come back the next day, the score is 0-0. Now you're consistently green where you look back at the week and at the month and you're like, holy shit. Because when you do that, there's only 2 outcomes when you look at your portfolio. You either mad at yourself or you proud of yourself. You either made money or you got clapped. Like, you ain't breaking even, right? Like, you either made money or you're down. You either green or you're red. You either mad at yourself or you're proud of yourself. It's very simple, black and white. That's options trading. One trade at a time. You limit your risk because when you enter a trade, you have to be right twice. When you enter and when you exit, the more trades you take, the more you expose yourself to losing. And we want to win. If you guys were on Twitter Spaces today, Juicy's trades, pretty much said he takes 2 to 3 trades a day, but he goes in with so much size, his gains are massive. One of my other friends said he's taking 2 trades in 2 to 3 weeks. He's had 5 figures just from those 2 trades. Less is more. You want to grow your account, less trades, guys. 1 trade at a time. Focus. Focus. That was a great question. Let's see. And hey, if anybody wants to come off mute, there you go. I was like, I don't want to be the only one talking. So I'll get back to the questions in the chat. Let's see. Accent mute. What's going on, bro?
What's up, Brody?
Talk to me.
I got a quick question for you, bro.
I'm here for it, man. What's going on?
Bro, so for like short-term swinging, like I'm talking like 2 weeks, nothing crazy. I'm not talking months. You think getting entries on the daily chart is how Rico does it, or how you do your swings? Because I know Rico's heavy on swings.
Yeah. So, all right. So you're asking about basically getting entries on the daily time frame. Is that correct?
Yeah. Like, is that the way to go for like swing trades, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah. I mean, everybody's different. I'm sorry, you're sounding a little low on my end. Like the sound isn't coming through my headset, so I didn't even know that was a thing, and I apologize for that. But for me, I definitely enter swing trades based on higher time frames. When I'm entering swings for a good time and a long time, and I'm not worried about the volatility, I'm in a position in an account that I'm not micromanaging and looking at every day. And the time frames that I use for my support and resistance, just for my due diligence from technicals, where I look at my RSI and I look at my MACD and the Bollinger Bands and the 200 moving averages, I'm looking at the daily, weekly, and monthly. Where are we on those charts? Because it gives me an idea, especially when I'm swinging positions that have time on it. So I definitely think those are good time frames for swing trading. That's literally what I do. I don't do my support and resistance on the 2-minute or the 5-minute, not even the 10. My support and resistance starts from the daily, weekly, and monthly. And then from there, I'm spending time intraday trading on the 2 and the 5-minute, right? So that's something that's what I do. So I would suggest that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. And then do you recommend waiting for a daily candle to close above a support or below a resistance? Or do you wait just like as soon as it touches that line, you're just in, bro?
I mean, that's a situation where I can't really give you an answer with that, because, it depends on what you want to do. Oh, side note, guys, because he asked a very important question. I think it's important, but I just want to throw this out there. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. This free mentorship session is for motivational purposes and educational purposes only. Boom. Now that that's out of the way. So, I mean, everybody's different. Some people get early entries, right? And they get in calls before the bounce of support. Sometimes it doesn't hit the support perfectly. Sometimes it breaks support and they still get calls. They're a little red, but they're still holding. It's all depends on your risk management. It all depends on your strategy. It's just, I play it by what the market is giving me, so it's just an indicator. Support and resistance is not the end all be all. It's just confirmation in conjunction with everything else that I have going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then does anyone else have their arms up, or can I ask another question?
Somebody else does. I think Nick actually wants to add something though. So let me see.
Okay, yeah, I'll come back to you, bro.
Yeah, no problem.
Yo, what's good, man?
Yo, what's up, Nick?
What's up, man? Yeah, I just want to add to the guy's question. Like for swing trading, you're holding for at least like 1 or 2, 3 days, a week or two. So like someone said, you want to be on a higher time frame that's focused on like a longer period of time. But you don't want to swing trade on an intraday time frame because you don't care what happens from 10:30 to 12:30. You care about what happens today, tomorrow, and the next day or next week, right? And then when to enter, that, like Simon said, it's up to you. Like, what are the conditions that will tell you to enter a trade? Like, what is your system? What signal does your system give you? Is it when it touches the price, or does it close above the price? That's your decision to make. And you can, like Simon said, size in. Like, you don't have to go full size. like right away, you can maybe get one. And if it does happen to close above or below, then you can add more as you go. Like you don't always want to put all your eggs in one basket at a time. You can just slowly size in and kind of just wait for what the market gives you, you know, and then react to whatever it gives you and make your decisions from there. But like Seven said, like your plan should always have like a if this happens, then I will do this kind of thing for any type of scenario. So like you're never emotionally thinking about what to do in any point in time. Like you already know how to enter and how to exit a certain trade.
Yeah, that was perfect. Exactly. I hope that helped. That was a great question. And thank you, Nick, for pulling up. Definitely, whenever you want to add to the bag, just raise your hand. King Tendies, you too. If you guys have anything that you want to add on to any of these questions, definitely don't hesitate. I value you guys. You guys both love to teach as well. So yeah. Let's continue. Felix said, talk about risk management recommended per account size. I mean, risk management is really the same. It doesn't really matter your account size because, it comes down to the person who's behind that screen or who's executing. At the end of the day, guys, it's you versus you. And it's not just you, and it is just you. What do I mean by that? It's not just you that wins and that loses in options trading, but it is just you that's behind that buy and that sell button. Nobody's forcing you to trade. Nobody's forcing you to make any decisions. It's just you, right? So with that being said, risk management comes down to you. Now, for me, I cut losers fast. I'm out of here. Once I get to a percentage I'm uncomfortable with, especially when I play in with size, I cut it. I'm not married to any stock. Sometimes it's 15%. Sometimes it's 10. When I'm in with a lower size, I can be flexible when I go to 25, 30, right? Every risk management is different, but what I would always recommend for smaller accounts, one trade at a time, cut losers fast. I think that might just be the main, topic for tonight, especially for the newer traders and the smaller accounts. One trade at a time, cut losers fast. We don't love these hoes, right? Like, don't get married to any of these positions. They're either profitable or they're not. If you're green, you get your money and get out of here, right? That's really what it comes down to when it comes to risk management. The higher your account, the more times you'll go in with more size, the risk management changes. And that's where you have stop losses as well when it comes to your brokerage and what you're doing. Some people have trailing stop losses and automated just manual stop losses. It all comes down to the person, right? So, yeah, I definitely meant it, Charlie. I absolutely meant that. Don't get married to anything. Good time, not a long time. Nick, I think you raised your hand again. I don't know if that was intentional.
Yeah. Like Stan said, like risk management depends on you. Like how much are you okay with losing? So whatever your account is, you have to pick a number. Like if you lose this amount, like you're in pain and you're gonna get very upset, So whatever that number is, that's like your own risk level. Then that's different from everybody else's tolerance based on their account size or their experience, right? Mathematically, like you don't want to risk like losses, like you don't want to lose more than like 2%. And that seems like a little bit only, but like that prevents you from, blowing up your account and, depleting all of your capital. So whatever your account is, just times 0.02, and that's how much you should lose in every trade. And if that's too small for you, then you might have to size up a little bit, maybe do 5%, right? Maybe do 10%. But you want to lose less as possible because the more you lose, you have to crawl your way back to even. So like there's a chart I know somewhere that we keep reposting. The higher percentage your account draws down, the more percent you have to grow it back to get back to break even. So at a time, you should only size like 10%, 20% max, like being more aggressive. And if you want to sleep well at night, like you size only 5% at a time. So you at max, like you should only lose less than 5% of your account. That means you lose 20 times in a row to lose all your capital. And if you lose 20 times in a row, like that's very unlikely, or you're just doing something completely wrong, right? So risk less and also just determine what that amount is for you. Like, what are you okay with losing? That number is different for everybody. And mathematically, 5% should be like the highest amount of loss you should endure like in any trade. So if you lose the entire 5% of your position, if that happens, it's okay. You have 95% of your account still, and you can make that back the next one, right? But the more you put in, like put in 20, 30%, you lose that entire chunk. Now you got to work harder to go to break even. And that's not our goal, right? We're trying to, yes, we want to put in the work, but we don't want to crawl back because we're losing too much, right? So minimize your losses. And like Simon said, cut your losers fast. Don't let your ego don't let your ego prevent you from being okay with being wrong. It's okay to be wrong and it's okay to lose. That's something that everybody has to learn, either the easy way or the hard way, right? So yeah, that's all I got.
Nah, for sure. And that's all of that stuff is extremely important. You know, it's important. It's the non-sexy things to talk about, but that's going to make or break your portfolio. And hey, if you're losing 20 times in a row, we got to get to the drawing board before we get to that point. If you're losing 7 to 10 times in a row, we gotta have a conversation, you know. And it's nothing to feel bad about. Losing streaks are a thing; it happens. But what are you doing to make the change? Like, it's like just insanity doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. If you're on a losing streak, you got to make some changes. Sometimes you just don't know what the change is, but that's where, you know, communities are. That's where, you know, financial Twitter, and you follow the right people and they're just willing to help, and you're getting the game, and you're coming to sessions like this and you're asking the questions. You know, got to make a change if you're on a losing streak. Right now, people are on a losing streak. Since last week, the market has been on Hall of Fame mode. Today, there was absolutely blown up accounts. Today, there was blown up accounts. It's, you know, it's one of those things where the volume was so boring watching paint dry. People put their headphones down, walked away. They probably still had calls. They probably still had open positions on whatever, you know, had no idea that the market was just being obliterated into the shadow realms, you know. And it comes down to, like, that's the importance of risk management, just to circuit it all back. You know, do you have your stop losses in place? Like, what's your risk tolerance? You know, so all of that stuff is extremely important. Let's see. What time frame do you use to draw your levels when playing weeklies? Oh man, it's the same. It's unswerving. I never change it. All of my support and resistance is on the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. All of them. I never draw levels on the 10 and 15. That's just me. Maybe King Tendies does it differently. Maybe Nick does it differently. That's just how it works for me and what I'm comfortable with. Take my 30% and dip. Yeah, man. You know, good time, not a long time. Once things get shaky, cut losers fast. You know, or if that was a winner, yeah, get it out of here, next trade. Oh, don't go, oh, I got 30%. I want to get 31. Hell no, 30% in one day is amazing. Oh, you got in SoFi. Yeah, let's go. Which one? The calls or puts? They were both green. The calls, they took a little bit longer, but they went crazy. And the puts went, like, I think it was like 17 to 20%. Yeah. Get in, get out, next trade. You know, take your green. That consistency does wonders for your confidence and your psychology. See, my man is back. What's the word?
I'm back, Brody. Can you go into like the sectors and like how those come into play, bro? Like XLV, XLY, those kind of shits.
What exactly are you asking in relative to those though? Like just sector rotations or?
So like when making a watch list, should we be looking at those?
I mean, I know people who trade those. I don't, you know, that's just not my neck of the woods, you know, so I can't really speak on it. You know, they're mostly slow movers, but you know, like I definitely think those are, like, especially when it comes to just ETFs in general, I think those are safer, you know, safer trades.
That's not what I mean.
Trade.
I mean, like, let's say you're looking at, no, I mean, like, let's say you're looking at Facebook. Do you look at like the communication ETF to see overall how it's performing?
So that's definitely a good question. I used to look on what's it called? What, FinWiz? I forgot what the actual term is. Yeah. And I used to look at the heat map, But, you know, I don't really do that anymore. You know, I normally get that information. Somebody always posts on Twitter, especially when things are in chaos or whatever, and just following the right people. But yeah, I don't really do that anymore because I'm mostly just playing what pays. You know, I don't really care about the entire sector necessarily. And again, this is just me. I just care about what's moving and what's the volume and what's happening. And I have my watch list is so diverse that I can always have an idea of what sector is hot and what's not. Also, when we have, you know, these like tools such as like Flow Algo and just, you know, seeing where the money's going, that's an indicator for me as well. You know, so I know people that exclusively trade, you know, things like XOY, ARK, you know, XLE, people that just exclusively trade SPY.
Okay, bro.
You know what I mean? It's just, you know, it all comes down to preference.
Okay, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Nick, you still have your hand up. Did you want to add to that or something?
Oh, I don't know. It just keeps my hand up here. I'll lower it. But
Nah, you're good. No
you
problem.
you don't need to look at too many things. You want to just focus on like just what is the direction of today. Like if you're a day trader, like what is the direction of today only? And you have to look at the entire sector. You can just to get a broad direction, but like you can just pay attention to the overall market, like the S&P, the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the Russell. Like you can just pay attention to those four or those three: S&P, Dow, and Nasdaq, and that will tell you today where are we going to go. You can use the futures market, the ES, the NQ, and the YM. You can use those as well to figure out, okay, when we open, where are we going to go, right? So mainly you just want to pay attention to today. Like today, what is the direction? So you don't want to like focus on too many things to like take away your judgment or like, you know, the analysis paralysis. Like just focus on your ticker and the direction of the market today. But yeah, that's pretty
No,
much
that
it.
was a bar because that happens to me too. No, well, I'm more so in the past. I try to avoid doing that because of that. Looking at too many things and then not executing. You know, yeah, analysis paralysis. That shit's the worst. You know, so yeah, definitely great point, Nick. Great point. Appreciate the DFS put. Hey man, the bell got a ring tomorrow. We don't know what pre-market happens. Definitely looks like it's clean. Might dump even more. Oh man, the flow coming in, especially towards the end of the day, was insane, y'all. Like there was literally millions and millions coming into SPY puts and IWM puts. Now, what does that mean? That means that people are really banking on a flush to come or just a flush to continue. And the worst part, the menacing part, is that a lot of these positions, as far as like the capital that was placed, it came in after the bell. Now, most traders don't know this because most traders on like Robinhood or Webull, as far as retail traders go, that you can actually, depending on your brokerage, trade SPY, you know, after hours. And if I'm not mistaken, can't you do that like XPX like all day now? Like, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not even in that realm trying to go crazy trading 24 hours a day. But you know, these call sweeps, I mean, these put sweeps, excuse me, they came in after the bell. Like one, for example, was a bet for SPY to go to $433. Somebody put 5.5 million in it. SPY is at 451. 433, what? And they're betting that for February 18th. It seems like February 18th is the magic date of a whole bunch of sorcery that's going to happen, you know, but it was a lot of money being placed. 2.7 million was another bet for the same strike. IWM puts, somebody put 4.1 million for the February 18th 196 strike put. IWM at the time of the bet was at $204.56. So it's just people are just betting on puts. Like the game is about to get nasty. The good thing is for options traders, you can make money on both sides on calls and puts. You just got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? You got to be willing to switch your hat at any time. You got to be willing to detach yourself from, you know, your lover boy stocks for the things that make your heart warm. Like, no, don't get married to none of these things, right? If you're in calls and is, you know, it's the jig is up, you got to get out of there. You can always get back later. The market is very bearish right now. There's a lot of indicators that support that. So, you know, you just got to move accordingly. Got to move accordingly. I'm gonna say, can you go over that your DD process? Man, that's $1 million question. You know, like that question costs a lot of money, but I'll go ahead. I'll share with you guys just some little sauce. All right, cool, boom. So I don't know. I guess give me a ticker. Yeah, type of ticker. Lord Rennie. Funny calling you that. Lord Flacco Rennie, I guess. Not you. Unless you're not there anymore. All right, boom. We'll go with Baidu. That was the first one. No problem. So Baidu, right? I'm not really a big Chinese stock enthusiast, but here we are. All right, cool. So due diligence. I was in your Zynga play and I profit 1,300%. My man, happy to serve you, man. That's awesome. Super, super dope. All right, cool. Boom. So, damn, Baidu's in the shadow realms. No bueno, no bueno. So due diligence. Before I even look at what's going on the chart, literally all I do is this. 40 analysts, that's a lot of analysts. My sweet spot is over 15, over like between 15 and 20 to see if it's valuable. Most people are buy because it's buy low, sell high, right? All right, 32% strong buy, 52% buy. You know, analyst price target, the low is 149, is at 154. The average is 236, is at 154. The high is 394. That's pretty insane. But average is always like a nice little spot. It's well below the average. Support of resistance that is created from the brokers that I use, squeezing right here. Okay, that's interesting. You know, the more something consolidates, the more there's a big move coming. So I did my analysis and I go ahead and look at news here. What's going on? China raises more regulatory hurdles for Alibaba and other Chinese tech giants. And I just go through here. Baidu outpaces stock market gains, what you should know. You know, if I was a Baidu enthusiast, I would click this, I would read this. If there was a reason why I'm playing Baidu, I would go through different headlines that I'm really interested in, and I'll go ahead and read it. You know, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm not a Baidu enthusiast, but if you are, there's something that I recommend doing. You know, so now I know how many analysts are looking at it. I know their price targets. I know their buy ratings, right? I do my news investigation, and then that's where the fun begins. And I'm like, okay, boom, go ahead. And I'm like, okay, this for me, you know, and this is not perfect, and people will agree. That's fine. This is my edge, right? This is my edge, and this is what allows me to do this full time. So I'm going to keep doing that. And of course, I'm gonna be a student and wanting to learn, but this is my bag. You know, I'm happy with this trend line. Definitely got a downtrend for sure. You know, but maybe it could break it soon. Who knows if it goes over here and it just goes to the next line. And I'm doing this very fast because this is not a technical analysis mentorship session. I'm just going through my due diligence in my process, right? So I think if it gets over the 90 MA and it breaks this downward trend line, it's gonna. Hold on. Let's see. No. Okay, yeah, you tried it. These is all good. Yeah, so then it breaks this downtrend, goes over this 90 MA, and it just continues. 182 will be my next price target. That's on the monthly, right? Then I just keep going down and then just use levels. I don't even know how to get rid of this. Man, the troll must have messed up my my chart. You hate to see it. That's weird. If I refresh it. Yeah, I'm using Weeble. This red line is just here very awkwardly. Okay, all right, there you go. Yeah, so now I'm looking at the Bollinger Band, I'm looking at my MACD, you know, and ultimately I just go through my technical analysis process, right? From the daily, the weekly, so on and so forth, you know. The weekly is just consolidating. It's kind of no man's land for me right now because it could really go either way or just chop around, you know. So outside of the news, so I already gave you, you know, the price targets, the analyst ratings, the support and resistance, the manual one. Then I'm doing my own technical analysis. Then I'm going through my news. And then I don't know if you guys can see when I go on Twitter, but like, I don't know, type 1 in the chat. You can see me on Twitter right now. All right, yeah, so you can see me. All right, cool. So then I go on Twitter, perfect. And I'll literally type the ticker that I'm doing due diligence on. I'm looking at top and I'm scrolling down. I'm seeing what's the vibes. And then I'm going on latest and I'm seeing what's the vibes. What are people talking about? Why would this be a trade that I take? I literally do this with lottos, with earnings and high conviction trades. And, you know, there's more that goes into it, but hey, I know I'm about to make one of y'all a lot of money and y'all got this information for free. And I love it. I just make sure y'all show me love on Twitter. That's really all I ask for. But yeah, that's like a big part of my process when I'm doing my due diligence. Is this PP process in depth in your book? Yeah, definitely have a lot. There's hours and hours of content in there, from risk management to the 7 deadly sins to finding your edge to barbershop talks like these, and yeah, definitely you would find awesome value. Take Twitter. If you use Twitter correctly, shit, man. If Twitter was to ever charge for their platform, I would pay for it, man. I hope they don't do that, but that's how much value I find on Twitter. Make sure you're tapping in. If you're finding value, show me love on Twitter. Let me know. Let me know what I can do better. I love the feedback. Yeah, this Zoom is going to be recorded. Well, it is recorded. And I'll post it on Discord. See, we got another question. Welcome back, bro. I love it, man. You on fire. Talk to me. Rack, if you're still there.
What's up, bro?
Welcome back.
I ain't got no question, bro. I forgot to put my arm down. But I wasn't gonna ignore you like that. You feel me?
Yeah. Nah, that's all good.
Actually, let me make a comment, bro.
Yeah, what's up?
I appreciate you, bro, for doing all this shit, dog. You feel me? You guys are putting out your time for like people like us that are newer. It means a lot, bro.
Hey, man, you know what it is? Like, I've been there, right? And a lot of people, they forget about their like beginnings as a trader. And on some people, I come from humble beginnings, right? So I love to serve and help other people, because I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to go through that pain, that feeling like you just want to quit. And, that shit is not a good place. It's not fun, right? So it's like, yo, like, if just me putting y'all on to game could change your life, I don't even care if y'all thank me, yo. That's fulfilling enough for me. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, this is not like, for me to win, you don't have to lose. So why would I gatekeep this information? Why would I allow, myself to just withhold information I know could impact somebody else dramatically? Like, why would I stay quiet while people get clapped? You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, man, you don't have to. I don't blew up accounts and been through it all, so you don't have to. And if you do, that's just the game. But the more information you have, the more you can make decisions to protect yourself and to grow your account and really get after it and move in your purpose. Once you learn this skill set, this is a good time and a long time skill set. And it's all lessons, and you're literally changing the trajectory of your financial life. Options trading is one of the best things that I was able to be fortunate enough to discover. And I'm proud of myself for all the work that I put in to get me to this point, that I could be able to do it full time, that I could be able to teach people and put people on, so that people can be like, yo, I took that ASO 13,000%. That shit makes me so happy, man. So I didn't, and eventually you guys are going to be able to feed yourselves and find these plays yourself. And then you can take it back to your village, and you can take it back to your friends and your family and your kids and the people that you know. And unfortunately, not everybody can go. Not everybody's going to listen. But if you just share with one person and you change their life and you put them on, oh man, that feeling is priceless and is worth everything. So that's really what I ask from you guys. Like, just give it forward. Whatever information that you find value in, that you use, that you exercise, that you're making money on, you putting somebody else that's not taking money away from you in the market. You know what I'm saying? So I said, do you plan on doing a technical analysis mentorship? Yes, I absolutely will. And I definitely have a couple surprises with that, because I know some monsters that do technical analysis so awesome, and they do it differently than I do. And I want to be able to show people a whole bunch of different ways. And then at that point, it's just picking what you're most comfortable with and then running with it. Like, I don't use the strat. I know people that exclusively use the strat. I know people that have a hybrid way of trading. I know people that have no indicators whatsoever, and they don't use the strat either. And I don't even know how they do it. and I want to be able to provide as much value to you guys. And then at that point, it's just like, yo, what do you think will work for you? And you can try them all. You can try everything. You can paper trade and try it. You can trade, one trade a day, a really small amount, and try it and just see what works for you until you find your edge. Easy. That's my boy, man. This man he made my day today, bro. He sent me a book, and he sent me a pre-workout because I was getting played from my spaghetti arms, apparently. I wore an extra large shirt in the gym. Big mistake. I flexed and my biceps didn't move. And he said, be elite is unmatched. Now your biceps are guaranteed to not stay the same for the next time you flex. Maximum muscles, maximum endurance equals maximum haters from money bags. Like, this is like my brother, man. So I know he would definitely wouldn't mind popping in just to give out a free game. Again, we're not selling anything. Just want to make sure that you guys are valid. If you guys aren't interested, of course, you guys can tap in and follow me on Twitter. Show me love on Twitter if you find value. And that's really all I got for you guys. As far as sharing, see, I'll stop sharing my screen just for the sake of time.